All right, everyone, welcome back to another 22 NFL mock draft. We have the Giants on the clock today. They're at pick 5 as we wind down, getting closer to pick 1 with the Jaguars on the clock. I'm joined by Nick Price. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing all right. I just had some kebabs for dinner.
There you go.
I'm reasonably full and I'm ready to talk about some draft prospects and hopefully make the Giants a little bit better.
So the Giants' immediate needs are offensive line, edge, linebacker. I've heard from fans they're hoping for a cornerback that's not named Derek Stingley. Any other glaring holes you see on this team?
You say edge, offensive tackle, and corner.
It says linebacker.
Ah, um. Well, one of the things they could do, granted, they do have Dexter Lawrence, but they lose Danny Shelton this off. They've lost Danny Shelton this offseason, and in his place, they've signed one of Martindale's guys. Justin Ellis, who played with the Ravens last year. Ellis is a solid player. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like if there's an opportunity to upgrade at nose tackle, I think they should seize that opportunity. I'm not saying they draft Jordan Davis because, good lord, no. Granted, if this is still Dave Gettleman's show, oh my god, dude, Dave Gettleman. Jordan Davis would have been gone at like pick 5, like that. Like Gettleman wouldn't have cared.
Hog mollies only.
Hell yeah. Um, Aside from that, I've heard. I think maybe it was Pat Leonard because when he went on the NFL Stock Exchange a while back, he said that they might try to replace Julian Love because Love's not exactly the type of safety that Martindale tends to value. So that could be something we look at later on.
And the Giants, at least one of their players has been in the news lately as to a possible trade. And that would be wide receiver Kadarius Toney. I mean, he's a young guy. I believe it'll be his second year in the league this next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he got ejected from the Dallas game for throwing a punch, but I didn't see much else of him this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think didn't he put up like 200 receiving yards in that game
Let's see here.
or something nuts like that? I remember the stat line being wild. That's like the one big thing he did this past season.
I think he was having a decent game before he got ejected. Let's see. What week was that? They played Dallas in week 5, or yeah. He was targeted 13 times, had 10 receptions, 189 yards.
Good lord.
And the other time, he did not play. So, yeah, it was in week 5.
Yeah, all right.
And he did not get a touchdown in his rookie year. So,
that's interesting.
Wonder if his first touchdown will be with the Giants or with another team.
It'd be funny if like Jacksonville were to trade for him because you remember last year that Urban Meyer was all over Kadarius Toney.
Oh God, Urban loved him.
Oh God, dude, think about it. Urban would be sick right now, sitting wherever he is, if that were to happen.
That man broke out if he saw Kadarius Toney was available for a trade and he had a chance to get him.
Oh, Urban.
But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this mock draft for the Giants. We're going to be using the PFF mock draft simulator in case we want to grant Tony's requests and trade him.
Or Saquon.
You never know. Running backs don't matter. Shout out to Zach. So we'll go ahead and start this draft. All right. Number 4, Derek Stingley. The person the Giants fans did not want is off the board.
However, Ahmad Gardner is also gone. He went to the Lions at number 2. That's fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Gardner too. So, I mean, this seems like a very ideal scenario for the Giants.
Yes. I've heard that they have been all over Charles Cross. However, with Ike Ekwonu staring them in the face, I think that might be too much for Joel Shane to pass up, or Joe Shane.
And we pick at 7, so we can still get whichever one is still there.
True. See, I don't know how you can't you pass up Icky here, even with like Thibodeau on the board. Like Icky's just so special, man. I mean, he can play guard, he can play tackle for you. Really good with his hands, solid feet, like really good feet, and of course, everybody wants to talk about the physicality that he brings to the table. So, I mean, I'd be pounding the table for Icky here. But do you have any opposing thoughts?
Thibodeau is player 2 on my board, but Icky's not far off.
Right.
They're both very high first rounders to me. I mean, let's see, what other edges? I guess you can be satisfied with Jermaine Johnson at 7. That's a little high for my liking, but I know a lot of fans like it. And he's been talked about top 10 as of late, so.
True.
We can go Icky and go with Thibs or Jermaine, whoever's there.
All right. I have a feeling it's going to be Jermaine. I mean, I have a feeling Kayvon's still going to be there because, the Panthers like Charles Cross. Yep.
So.
Take him. Take him. Yep. Take him.
All right. We got our 2 biggest needs off the bat. Let's see here. Any position calling out to you?
Well, what's funny is if they move on from Toney, they would probably need another wide receiver because they're still rolling out Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton, and Sky Moore's here. I talked before.
George Pickens.
Yes. I talked before how they could probably maybe upgrade defensive, like nose tackle with Travis Jones. But really the big thing is that like we've been kind of hearing all offseason that James Bradbury might be moved.
Yeah.
So corner is definitely.
It's drying out quick.
Yeah. Kind of the same issue he ran into the other night with Seattle. I mean, I see Petrie as more of that like safety, like slot hybrid.
Same.
And that'd be extremely redundant considering they already have Aaron Robinson and Darnay Holmes on the roster. So, and Julian Love can kind of offer that kind of like safety corner versatility as well. So, once again, I'd pound the table for Kyler Gordon here. Granted, this is providing that James Bradbury is moved on is moved. Are we operating under that assumption, or are we just saying that picking this with Bradbury on the roster?
I mean, since he still is on the roster, I mean, we pick him with the assumption that he still wants to be dealt. Things like that, I'd say is fair.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm fine with Kyler Gordon here.
Unless linebacker looks good. I want to see what linebacker looks like.
Leo Chenal, Quay Walker, Asamoah, Anderson, too early for Anderson.
Yeah.
Too early for Asamoah, too.
Yeah. If we were to go linebacker, I mean, it'd be between Chenal and Quay Walker.
Let's see, who's higher on my board?
I don't even have mine pulled up.
Walker is higher than Chenal. And Walker and Gordon are very close, so I'd be fine with either.
Yeah, Walker and Chenal are kind of close to me. I have Chenal ahead from Walker, but I mean, Walker's getting round 1 hype in the league, so I think there's something that NFL teams are really drawn to by him. So I'll be fine with Walker because New York really doesn't have a starting inside, really a quality inside linebacker. I mean, Blake Martinez, he's a tackling machine, but he's a very linear athlete. Not someone I wholly trust in coverage. And I think Giants fans would tend to agree with that. So if you want to go with Quay Walker,
rolling out Quincy Roche as one of their starters or projected starters.
Oh, dang.
So yeah, I think we go at Walker here.
Yeah. Dang, I was hoping Rashay was actually going to turn out to be something, but
All right. Corner. It's still kind of dry. Marcus Jones, a good nickel option. Armour Davis isn't terrible, but you might almost be better and wait for Emerson
honestly, yeah.
or McCollum.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, there's some really good offensive line options here. Granted, we already
Zach
drafted.
Don Parham, yeah, not bad.
Yeah, because their interior consists of Max Garcia, John Feliciano, and Mark Glowinski. Glowinski's fine. He's been solid in Indianapolis for the last few years, so ideally you'd probably want to upgrade either Garcia or Feliciano at center.
You looking at Dylan Parham?
Of course I'm looking at Dylan Parham. That's my guy.
I don't think that's a bad option here.
No.
Let's see if we can unload Toney for a fourth real quick. Something like that.
You can pick Baltimore. That's fine. They have like 5 fourth-round picks. I'd sign off on this.
Get our 110 back for Kadarius Toney.
Sure.
Ooh, maybe we can get 100. 100 and 110? Do we finesse the system? 76 and 100? Do we finesse the Ravens, Nick?
I mean, if this were to actually happen, I'd probably be in the corner crying on draft night. But if for the purposes of this mock draft, sure, what the hell? Let's go for it.
Let's send it in. Trade accepted. We got rid of Kadarius Toney and picked up 76 and 100.
We were thriving.
That would be a fantastic trade in my book for the Giants. And then we can go Dylan Parham here.
Right.
Let's see. Who is their nickel corner? Is it Bradbury or Darnay Holmes?
Yeah, and they also got Aaron Robinson there too. We could look at safety. They need a good strong.
Kirby's more of a free. Brian can be free in a duel.
Yeah.
I didn't get to Dane or Tyson.
No.
Marquise Bell would be good in a dual safety. We can
Yeah.
get him later, though. Leon O'Neal feels like a giant, but not till later.
Right.
So let's see. Tight end. They're rolling out Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah.
Jelani Woods?
I mean, per PFF, it's a bit early for him, but I mean that's an upside guy right there.
Yeah, I mean, almost or near perfect combine RAS score.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
Round 3 is where he's going to go, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I have a solid 3 on Jelani. I think if you're trying to look for somebody to really stretch the field through the seam, I mean, he's definitely that. Big physical guy in the red zone too, and just obviously, like you just said, he's a phenomenal athlete. So
good with Jelani.
Yeah. I mean,
getting at 81.
I mean, if they're serious about keeping Daniel Jones around for a little bit longer, I think you try to get as much out of him as possible. So,
yeah.
Granted, I know we just traded away one of his weapons, but I mean,
we just added another one. Hopefully, one that pans out.
Right.
So let's see here. What else does your depth chart say? I guess we can go receiver since we just traded Toney.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, Khalil Shakir. Justin Ross is low.
The Giants are weird because they have a big body in Galladay, but they have smaller-ish dudes to Shepard and Slayton, like I said before.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder what they're like looking for out of that second or third receiver.
Right. I mean, Pierce is a bigger guy. He's more of a contested catch guy, but he can also has the speed to create yards after the catch. So I don't know if you
Should we
want to
go
go.
out, Pierce?
Yeah.
Let's
Oh yeah.
send it in.
Carson Strong's still here.
100. Carson Strong is still on the board. Or do we take the athletic tackle upside and Kellen Deesh? Their starting right tackle right now, according to our lives, is Matt Gano.
Yes. And this is assuming we're putting Icky inside, right?
That's true. We did pick Icky. He could move inside. He could play outside.
I mean, granted, Deesh is a project. I think he plays a little bit too high in a stance for me. And he obviously needs to add more mass because he's very, very, very light. But honestly, a line consisting of Thomas at left tackle, potentially Icky at left guard, Parham at center, Glowinski at right guard, and then Deesh at right tackle is not terrible in my book.
No, it doesn't sound not bad. I mean, Deesh will need his reps to develop, but
right,
he could be a full-time starter by the end of year 2, I think.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate it.
Deesh?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I think it's time to look at corner.
Yeah, we've kind of dragging our asses on this for...
I like Zion McCollum. I watched him yesterday as my final prospect. He was fun.
See, I have no knowledge of him, other than just people talking him up.
Let's see. He got a 3rd round grade from me. He was very fun.
I like fun. Granted, I've like I said, I've done zero work on him. So if you're willing to pound the table for me, I'm all ears.
Yeah, let me pull up my scouting report here on McCollum. He was good in press, man. He's comfortable being left on the island. He was asked to do it many times. Sam Houston State had patient feet in press. Doesn't open up his hips too early. Had a few occasions giving up separation at the route's breaking point, but he stays in phase well on deep routes. Looks like quarterbacks picked on him with ball placement. It looks like he looked to be the victim of some very good, well-placed throws. Superb athlete, tested phenomenally at the combine, and his recovery ability on tape is fantastic. Pretty good ball skills. Needs work in run support. And tackling was adequate. Could be better, but could be worse.
So it sounds like any issues he has can be relatively easily fixed.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of it was physicality or tackling, and I mean, some corners never really play physical and still succeed.
True.
But I like McCollum here.
All right. I mean, I'm fine with it. Let's go for it.
Send it in.
I mean, we're in the 4th round. I mean, who cares at this point? I mean, you're betting on upside of this.
Dart throw on an athletic freak on
exactly
day 3. I'll take it. Speaking
of athletic freaks, Bailey Zappi.
Yo. Yo. Do we take him to compete with Daniel Jones?
We're in round 5, man. Listen, I have Zappi graded as a round 5 player. Just let me pull up my scout report for him. I mean, he's. I project him as a backup quarterback. I mean, he's very consistently accurate. Especially underneath and over the middle. The arm strength is not what I call elite. In fact, it's graded as very average.
Yeah.
However, his release, in my opinion, is pretty smooth. Placement's really nice. There's a lot of good, outside the number sideline throws that I thought he really hit consistently. So, I mean, you're not like joined at the hip with the guy. So, if anything, he doesn't beat out Daniel Jones, you're still getting a very high level backup, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
My only person I would campaign for against him is Josh Ezeudu. He was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked him too.
He's a Cowboys 30 visit, so I was forced to watch him. Guard tackle flexibility, quite a few starts under his belt. He was a pretty fun watch. Genuinely surprised with this film.
Yeah, here in round 5, Grant, we've taken the offensive line twice, but you can really never go wrong with O-line depth anyway, and he tested very well. So I'm pretty fine with it.
All right, we'll go easy do and keep Corey happy as Ty Goddard remains a backup in New York. Unless Zapp is still on card. Nope, he's not. All right. Damn. Just for shits and giggles. Caleb Ellaby's not a bad option.
Now, Browning. I personally asked Arif Hassan this because he said that I asked him who was higher on Ellaby than me, and the person he said that was higher on him was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not by much. I think he said you was like 94th overall for you or something like that, and I'm like closer to 100 or something. So
yeah, when you get to like mid to late round guys, my numbers become skewed because I don't watch as many players.
Right.
But Ellaby has all the makings of a good backup. I don't hate him at all.
No, and I think like he's probably one of the more intelligent quarterbacks I've seen this year. I mean, I don't think he's like really radical and wild with the football. I think he has a very, very good arm. I think it's actually quite underrated. And like you said, back at worst you get a really good backup. And our boy Tyler Fornes, I think he made a tweet like this morning or yesterday about like how like teams don't like develop backup quarterbacks anymore. I mean, the Giants could get back on that trend with Ellaby. That'd be fun.
They very well could. I mean, let's see. Their depth chart at QB is Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Brian Lewerke, and Davis Webb. So they have some young guys there, but not really with the upside that Ellaby has, in my opinion.
Right. I mean,
so you go with Ellaby?
Yeah, I mean, like I have a third on Ellaby. Like I have him graded in the same tier as I do Kenny Pickett. You know?
Yeah, he's higher than Matt Corral for me.
Yeah, literally, because like Matt Corral's barely a 4th round grade. What is he for you?
He is a mid 4.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I think we're gonna go Ellaby here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corey. Ty God's got competition. All right. Now we're just into full-on dart throws.
Yeah.
What does the running back room look like? Saquon, Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell.
Sandro Platzgummer.
Yeah, whoever the hell that is. I've never heard of him.
I think this is a fantastic name. So got a suggestion here. I'm gonna pound the table for one of my American Conference people. Defensive lineman Curtis Brooks. Talked before. Dexter Lawrence. They have him playing as according to Hourlads has him as their 3 technique right now. You and I both know that Dexter Lawrence is probably more of a nose.
Yeah.
Curtis Brooks, granted, he's a bit lighter, he's a bit shorter, but he plays hard. He plays really hard, has good power despite his slight frame. I think he offers a really nice upside as a pass rusher, high motor guy in that regard, and I think he could probably plug him in a 3 technique. Maybe it's just a depth piece because outside of Lawrence, their defensive tackles are Jihad Ward, David Moa, and Raymond Johnson III.
Cowboys legend Jihad Ward.
And Ravens legend, for being honest.
Ain't true. But all right, you're saying Curtis Brooks. I got no problem with that. I don't know much about him, but Nick has watched him, done his homework. Thinks he can get Dexter in his right spot at 1 tech or 0 tech. So let's go Curtis Brooks. Saints forfeited their pick.
Oof. Wait, do we have any more picks after this? Because this thing keeps going and going and going.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, how about that? All right.
All right. Well, we got Icky at 5, Kayvon at 7, Quay at 36, Dylan Parham at 67. Traded Kadarius Toney for 76 and 100. Took Jelani Woods. Hey, that's a good pick. Shut up, PFF. Alec Pierce at 81, Kellen Deach at 100, Zion McCollum at 112, Josh Izudu at 147. LB around 5 is not an F. PFF is stupid.
He's a 3rd-round player, guys. Come on now.
For real.
He's fun. He's fun.
Curtis Brooks in the 6 at 182. PFF gives this draft grade a B. I don't know, man. This is at worst a B plus to me. I was thinking A minus.
Oh, definitely. This is definitely an A-. I mean, you get arguably 2 of the best players at their positions in the draft. Then you turn right around and get Quay Walker, who can be a starting inside linebacker, get a starting guard in Dylan Parham, a potentially starting tight end in Jelani Woods, and hell, even Alec Pierce at wide receiver. Then you get a lot of guys who can probably blossom into something.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 instant impact players, 2 players that probably have an impact in year 1, but it's limited. And the rest are all swings on highly athletic people or people who have tape that have backup draft position. So,
yeah,
I would really like this draft if I was a Giants fan.
Oh, yeah. Besides, you deal Kadarius Toney and get like 2 really nice picks for him.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get 76 and 100, 2/3 for Toney.
Right. I mean, speaking of which, I haven't. No one's really discussed what like his actual trade market will look like in terms of picks. I haven't seen anything on the timeline that would suggest what they could get.
I haven't either, and honestly, like I have no clue. Like I think we got a steal here.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think he would cost 2/3. Like he's a young player, sure. He showed a little bit, not enough to warrant a 3. I mean, if you're lucky, maybe 1/4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He'd be just trading for a 4th,
but I'm notoriously bad for estimating trade values, as we experienced the Stafford trade last year. So I just leave NFL GMs to make decisions in their hands, as they should. But
of course,
that's going to do it for the Giants mock draft. Up tomorrow, we have the New York Jets, the New Jersey counterpart of the Giants, on the clock. Let's see who we have doing that one. It's Devin and hopefully a special guest. So be sure to tune in for that. Stay locked on the YouTube channel for us. We'll be going live day 1, day 2, and a little bit of day 3 of the draft. So be sure to be subscribed, have those bells on. But for Blue Chip Scouting, I'm Tyler. That's Nick. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.